Now, is your home as safe as it could be? Coming up, we have simple ways to improve your home's security.
To Fix It Tuesdays is brought to you by To Fix It.
Welcome back. A safe and protected home is something we all want but may not have. Well, Robert Vallelonga from Acme Locksmith is here to show some easy ways to beef up our security. It's, you know, we joke, oh, you know, I should do this, and we don't do it until the neighbor down the street has a break-in. We're like, oh, what were we thinking? We need to protect our homes. Very important.
That's exactly right. So we brought along a few items that we could talk about to help homeowners very quickly upgrade their security system.
Good.
Now, the first I want to talk about is door hardware. So if you haven't replaced your door hardware in the last year or two, you are really at risk.
Really?
Well, a couple years ago, you probably heard a lot of the stories on the news about lock bumping. That's a technique that locksmiths use to get into a locked lock. That got out on the internet. So now anybody has access to that information. So the lock manufacturers had to very quickly react in order to come out with locks that were bump resistant. And this is one actually by Master Lock. The cylinder in this lock is not only bump resistant, it's pick resistant, and it has a feature that I really like on it. I'm going to ask you to help me out with this. Can you go ahead and just turn the key and lock this just like you would any deadbolt? Okay, that's fantastic. Now, this has a feature. Let's see if I can get to it from this angle.
We're going to show Bob here. Okay.
Now turn that key. You can no longer get into this home with the key by bumping it, by picking it, or a screwdriver. You've disengaged the cylinder. It's called the night watch, so you could sleep at night.
So it's this little switch
That's
thing.
right. You pull that out, you push it in, key works as normal.
I see.
Okay, this is
so
a very
so when
nice
you
thing.
leave the house, you can go like this when you're when you're home.
Right.
So it's easy to use if your husband's coming home. But when you leave or when you're sleeping at night,
exactly,
you put this little gidgemadoo on.
It has a button, and you pull it, and you've just locked everybody out of your house from the 4 most common intrusion tactics.
Very well. There you go. That's an easy fix.
Yeah, it is. It's a very easy fix.
I like that. Okay.
The next one I want to talk about is electronic access for the home. This is common in businesses. Now it's making its way down to the residential market. So if you're a homeowner and you give keys out to maybe the cleaning staff, babysitters, anything of that nature, boyfriends, girlfriends, your home's at risk, because if those relationships ever end and you want to protect your home, you have to pay a locksmith company to come out and rekey every cylinder of your house so those people can't get back into your house.
Right.
With electronic access, you just hand out a passcode. So then they just come in, they key in the code, they can get in, and when you want to stop them from coming into your house, you just change their passcode. You just disable it, and they can no longer get into your
Who have teenage children who lose their keys all the time with your name on it, it'd be a good idea too.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So you just abled that.
Okay.
The other advantage to this lock is if you're somebody that's ever lost your keys, when you go back to your house, you could get in your house in the comfort of your own house, get your spare set of keys, and you'll never be locked out of your house again.
Gotcha. Very smart. That's good. And this you put just on your front door, your main door?
Yeah, put it on one door of your home.
Okay. Very nice.
Yep.
And this, we were talking about this.
That's right.
Bruce and I keep saying, oh, got to get that fireproof safe. Haven't done it yet, and it takes disaster for people to...
That's exactly right. If you're just like my parents, they talked about having some sort of fire safe protection for important documents and some items, but most people don't do it. And about a little over 4 years ago, my parents' house burned down to the ground. And it took years to replace all of the items that they had lost. But the thing that my mom still gets teary-eyed about isn't, you know, the will and the passport. They got all that stuff, right? But it's the pictures, the photographs. They can't replace those. So we recommend every homeowner get at least a 1-hour fire safe to protect those items. And always go big. Because nobody calls us and says, my safe's too big. They always call us and say, my safe's too small.
What do these run about? What is something like this run?
They vary anywhere depending on size from 200 on up. But nowadays, they're really easy to get into with electronic keypads. They're very accessible. So everybody should have one of these.
Yeah, and you know, your pictures nowadays, they have those little discs. So you can load up, just stick copies of your discs in there. So
exactly
then you don't have to put the big photo albums in there.
Exactly right. So information on all of these products.
Great ideas. We didn't get enough time for this, but if you have a wood stick in your sliding glass door, Not good enough.
Not good enough. That's right.
Charlie, is this what's called a Charlie?
Charlie bar.
Charlie bar. Better for you. All right. Thank you so much, Robert, for explaining all that. Really good steps to secure your home, feel better when you're sleeping at night, and they're fairly easy to do.
They are.
Love
I
it.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And if you want more information on any of these devices or the company, very easy. Go to tofixit.com.
That's right.
Installed.